to the Halo 4 multiplayer past, present, and future panel. Since we are at PAX East, we thought it was only appropriate that we show you some of the work done by our fabulous understudies for the Master Chief and Cortana, which of course was Gabe and Tycho. I think we can all agree they bring something incredibly unique to their respective roles. Before we get started
I hope
today,
the Academy was watching.
They're both sure to win. Before we get started, I would like to introduce today's panelists to you. We will start on this side of the table. So Kevin, could you tell everybody, well, I just said your first name, so if you could tell everybody your whole name, your job title, and what you do as it relates to Halo 4 multiplayer.
I'm Kevin Franklin, lead designer on War Games.
Kelly and Cal from Gripball Hub are down there, and I saw last night on Kelly's Twitter, she said, I just hugged Kevin Franklin, hashtag, I'm never going to bathe again. So apologies if you're sitting by her, and Kelly, you should put your arms down. Next up, we'll take the only person that dresses nice, apparently.
No one told me to wear a black t-shirt. I apologize that I'm not in uniform. My name is Bernie Burns, and I am the owner of Rooster Teeth Productions and the writer. Thank you. I like you a lot. Let's take it slow. Let's see how things go. And I'm also the writer and director of the web's longest running web series, which just happens to be a Halo-based web series called Red vs. Blue.
Next up, we have Bravo, who did not create Red vs. Blue, but is still kind of sort of awesome.
Yeah, I didn't create Red vs. Blue. My name is Andy. A lot of people call me Bravo. My title at 343 is Sustained Associate Producer, and that lets me do all sorts of fun stuff with matchmaking and community efforts.
We need to come up with a new job title. Sustained Associate Producer is like the lamest thing I've ever heard. Zap.
I'm just a big Zap.
If anybody has any job title suggestions for Andy, go ahead and tweet them to us, and we'll change that ASAP. On the end, we have Mr. Tom Potter, who's with Certain Affinity. Tom, if you could tell us about yourself and Certain Affinity, that would be awesome.
So I'm a producer at Certain Affinity. Has anybody heard of Certain Affinity before? I'm sure. Yeah. Great. Excellent. Just in case you don't know about Certain Affinity, our Halo roots actually go pretty deep. Our founder, Max Hoberman, was actually one of the original members of Bungie, and he founded Certain Affinity about 6 years ago. And since then, we've worked on a lot of Halo maps. It's in the upper 20s somewhere. We've worked on the Podtacular map, map pack, Defiant, Anniversary, Halo 4, Majestic pack, and now we're here to show the Castle pack.
It's been awesome on the show floor today, seeing Castle out there. Like, those maps we've been playing like crazy for months, and just seeing people out there today getting on it, it was fantastic. So I totally encourage you to show them off the panel today, but to really get the full experience, get out there and play, because it's awesome.
How many of you played today on the floor? Very nice.
How many played yesterday?
Perdition out there? Okay, that one's super cool. That one reminds me of Turf a little bit. I'm kind of old school Halo 2, but I totally dig that city vibe. Before we go too much farther into the Castle Map Pack, we want to thank all of you for playing our game and helping make it the success that it's been. Halo has a fabulous community, and we would not be anything without all of you. So we wanted to share with you some of the things that you have accomplished in matchmaking. You'll notice as we go through these stats that these are all screenshots taken by you. You can find the author's name in the corner. So without further ado, oh look, we're on the screen up there. Oh, let's change that. like the sooner the better.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
There we go. There we go.
What? Screen's broke.
Over there. Over there.
Oh, it's over there.
Over here. Oh my God, there's two screens. And there's smoke. I don't, is that okay, it's not on my side of the stage, so I'm just going to keep on going. Tom, you should probably
So everybody on that side move over there.
Okay, so these are our stats since launch.
there we go. There we go.
Oh, thank you. So, over 11.6 million people have played Halo 4 multiplayer. That's a lot of people. I'm thinking if we stretch out all of those people arm to arm, it would make a really long line.
I'm pretty sure they make Canada.
Canada? Okay,
Yeah, Canada.
that's a good.
That's how
yeah,
many.
they're nice. I think. At least, well, no, not the ones from our studio. The ones from our studio are not nice, but all the rest are totally nice.
It would make Canada. It wouldn't go the length of Canada, it would just make.
Be the entire population thereof.
And all of the 11.6 million people have gotten 11.7 billion kills. I'm thinking 11.6 billion of them are mine, but I'm sure the rest of you have a large chunk of that too. Andy, how many of those are yours?
I would say the rest.
Oh!
It's not that many, because you have so many.
Okay, yeah,
But
all
yours
I'm
are-
getting from that is I have more than you, which
But
makes
you
me happy.
also just create new accounts and then just stomp on everyone in Griffball each week.
They're all hammer kills, ain't they?
Okay, so maybe I like going in and destroying people at Griffball, but I'm sure Bernie supports.
Absolutely, Griffball kills should be counted.
Yeah!
Counts it. I just don't support the abuse of our ranking system to
Okay,
make
so you know what? It looks like
Legitimate kills that are
so
hard
we have some
earned.
more stats to share with you. Can we get Andy's mic turned off? Anybody? Turn it off. 388 million headshots, and I think 0 of those are mine. Unfortunately, I'm not good with the head.
Melees?
Okay, so I'm just
It means
going
she's
to.
terrible at SWAT. That's all it means.
Yeah, moving on before I lose my job. 193 million assassinations, and I did have like a really great joke about something from behind, but after that last stat, I am just absolutely not going to go there. We actually had somebody come by the booth today that was super into assassinations. He loved them so much that he went back to previous titles to see all the different assassinations that they had as well.
He's really into it, you said? It's a judgment-free zone, though, right, basically? However he wants to play, it's fine with him.
How many people here got a ball assassination? In oddball? A couple people in Griffball too?
Oh yeah, dude, I stiff arm the heck out of people in Griffball.
On new accounts.
Oh, yeah. You must like action that.
Andy's mic is still on. Anybody? Oh, speaking of assassinations, 4.4 million air assassinations. I have not gotten a single one. Isn't there a majestic achievement with? Okay.
Yeah, they really turned your mic off.
Oh, can't stop me now. Pigs can fly. It is an assassination. It's
Oh,
good.
you're cheating, Bernie.
The sound guy can collect his tip from Jessica after the show. Thank you.
She's not good with head.
Oh, let's talk medals. 24.5 billion War Games medals awarded. That's a lot of medals. Does anybody have a favorite medal?
Filtrosity? How about Hail Mary?
I heard road trip.
Road trip.
Can anybody
trip.
up here do a good road
Ball
trip impersonation?
holder.
Because I can't. Somebody needs to do it.
Jeff Stetzer.
Oh man, I remember working with Jeff on that. I think we recorded about 11 different versions of it before we got it right. Yeah, we were on the phone and we were trying to explain to him what happened. And we were like, wait, you get 3 guys in a warthog, and then all of you have to splatter somebody, and then everyone in the warthog gets a medal. And he just couldn't believe it. He's like, everybody? And it's just, he's like, how often does this happen? I'm like, almost never. Pretty much never. And then all of a sudden he just yelled in the microphone. He's like, road trip! And it blew us away. We knew we had it as soon as that one hit, and we saved it.
That's amazing. All of you have gotten 30 million flags captured. That's a lot. Yeah. Does anybody here like CTF? Very nice. I think the people right around there have the bulk of the captures. Yep, I see you. That guy. Right there. He's got them all. Oh, I'm going to let Bernie say this one, as he has a little bit of a investment in this.
Yeah, the investment is I designed a game type called Griffball so that I could actually get kills and points in Halo for once. And I'm glad to see that 26 million people have benefited from that as well.
Nothing, Andy? You got nothing?
No, I think I said enough.
Mike's back on.
Yeah, I actually didn't think my mic was on yet. I was going to say anything.
Just like to point out that this is a totally legitimate stat. Absolutely, regardless of what Andy says.
Well, I love Griffball. I think that's known. I just don't support new accounts. That's it.
Just because you have unlimited trial cards.
I am, can we get all the cameras turned off too? I see one right there off. Let's go back to vehicles. 64 million vehicles jacked. I don't think I've jacked any vehicles either. I think I have in some internal play tests. Always Andy, because he's a very bad driver.
It's not true at all. Neither of those.
That was a great screenshot.
Yeah, that one's by Reclaimed Halo. That person has tons of amazing screenshots. I think that person has a few in here, and they've been featured in our bulletin galleries as well. And despite all the impressive stats, we have one more. Andy, would you like to read this one?
Sure. There has been one Mantis annihilating Spartan vaporizing ball of death pulse grenade plant.
Does anybody want to see it?
Yeah!
The story about that. I know that's an internal one that happened before we launched.
Yeah.
Was it you?
No, this happened probably around 2 or 3 months before we finished the game, and it came up as a bug in our database, and we all passed it around, and we were like, should we fix this? And we're like, could we reproduce it? We didn't even know how it happened, and it was just one of those amazing things that comes out of the Halo sandbox, and everyone we looked at, we were like, no, we need to keep this, because if it ever happens to anybody, no one's going to complain. So if it has happened to you again, send us the video, and we're going to upgrade that stat to 2.
I'll let you do that. That sounds like too much work. Okay, so on to what we've been doing for Sustain. All of you, the community, has just played such an important part in driving everything that is Halo 4. Our community is not at all shy about letting us know what they want, what they like. Sometimes you even tell us what you don't like. That's a rarity. So here are some of the things that we've done since Halo 4 has launched, based on the feedback that we've gotten from you. Bravo and Kevin, you want to take this one?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been like a joy to be working on this every single week since launch and getting all new game modes and also bringing back like previous ones in as much as we can. And it's like crazy. We have this frenetic process every week where we'll like work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and sometimes the weekends too, to get new content in. And it goes through a test team, and once we push it out on Monday, we've been almost every single week getting new content out, and it's been absolutely fantastic for Sustain. And I think the biggest thank you we had to, though, is the community for keeping to support the game and giving us your feedback and telling us what you want. And then most importantly, trying out all these new things and crazy ideas that we're working on to sort of keep Halo 4 going. And it's, you know, we're just going to keep it going as long as we can. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's a definite challenge each week to decide how much we can kind of cram into an update, which is what we've been doing. We talk with the test team and multiplayer design teams, and we look at how much we can possibly do each week, whether it be adding a new map to SWAT, along with adding a new game mode and then another playlist, and then of course during all that working on all the other playlists that are coming out soon. So and prioritizing that is definitely, like I said, a challenge, but the feedback has been great, both the positive feedback and you know, the criticisms that we get on each playlist, what things should look like, and I think that showed over time in the playlist that we released. Has anybody tried Action Sack?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Binary Slayer!
And Binary Slayer.
Rockets and Rails!
Rocks and Rails. And yeah, you know, Action Sack, one of the examples of a playlist that just came out and got some really great feedback. And you know, a new game type, as we said in the Halo Bulletin, will be coming out on Monday. So consistently adding content and working across all teams to it. Yeah, it's going to be a cool game mode. And as Kevin said, it's a pleasure to be able to bring these game modes and the second we start reading feedback, or if I'll just hop into a lobby on, a random gamer tag and I hear people talking about how much they like a game mode, it means a lot, and it's you can't really say more than that.
Bring back dodgeball.
Somebody just said, "Bring back dodgeball." Geez, I'm not all into the crazy game types. Bravo likes to say on Twitter that it's my favorite playlist because it's not. But one of the things that Andy didn't mention is that we'll be updating the Fiesta game type within the next month. I know some of you have noticed that it's not exactly as you prefer, so we will be making that change super, super soon. One time I was in a Sustain meeting and Frank was there, and he was talking about, what was the Halo 3 Splazers? Blockets?
Blockets.
Oh my god, that, like, I raged so hard when I played that. So I started to get very angry in this meeting, and I was just talking about what a horrible, horrible game type that was. And Frank's like, I made that one, how can you say that? And I'm like, the only thing worse than that is golden showers from Halo 2. And he's like, I made that one too. And I'm like, dude, you need to stop making game types. And we no longer invite him to our Sustain meetings. Hopefully he's not watching this.
What's in his Dino Blasters? Isn't that another one?
I don't know about that Frank guy. Now we would like to show you some of the Castle Map Pack. The Castle Map Pack launches on April 8th. It's 3 maps. They are vehicular based. They're also kind of fun. If you want to see them in action, we have a trailer that we would like to show you. Woo! And that's not it. That's the splash page that I forgot to go to. But now here's the trailer. Mr. Tom Potter is going to take us through the 3 maps. He's going to tell you a little bit about their fiction background, a little bit about how they play, and then some of the nuances of each of the maps. Bernie, you got to see him last night.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I love it. I mean, a big part of what we do for Red vs. Blue is take inspiration from the environments. When we started the show, all the characters look the exact same and they're just different colors, so to really kind of go out there and get new ideas for writing episodes, we would always just wander around in the maps and see, what's inspiring. Like, essentially, Red vs. Blue boils down to how do we make a Jeep and a skull and a base and a flag funny, And so walking around the environment is just the best way to come up with new ideas. So anytime there's a new map, that's what I do. Is I just while everyone is running around and shooting around me, I'm wandering around and looking at the walls or the corner or something like that, and dying. That's my excuse, at least, that I use. Yep.
So what'd you guys think? That looked pretty cool?
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to say, having worked on this, honestly, I think these are some of the best maps that we've done to date. As you probably noticed from the video, where Majestic was all about infantry-based combat, we're moving back to vehicular combat here. So if we want to just jump into the individual maps. So the first one we're going to talk about is Daybreak. So Daybreak is a ONI research facility on the planet of Oban. Does anybody know Oban? No Oban fans? So Oban's not very popular now, but I think after we play this map, it will be very popular. As you can tell, this is actually early concept art right here. When we were thinking about what to do with this map, we really wanted a map that was sort of a nod to the Halo maps of long ago that were, green grass, blue sky, no pine trees though. So this is kind of where the inspiration for the map started. So there's mostly a terrain map. We've got 2 bases. The 2 bases are asymmetrical. The map itself is also asymmetrical. There's a lot of height variation and terrain variation. Because it's terrain, there's a lot of different variation that we can do in the environment. This is a top-down map. So you can notice we've got the mongoose and the warthog, and you'll also notice down there, tucked in the corner, is the banshee. So
that's what that spawns.
Developing a map is always very interesting. You can think you've got it, and then a curveball comes out of nowhere, and you do a bunch of changes. So in this particular case, we had a pretty good map. We felt we had a pretty good map. CA playtests all the time, sometimes 3 times a day. And we're always generating feedback. We're always trying to make sure that we're making a really fun map. This particular map was fun, but we kind of felt like there was something missing. And I think it was actually Max, the president of the company, was sitting in on a playtest, and he said, you know what would be really cool in this map? The Banshee. And I think everybody in the room at the time kind of groans like, oh no, because we knew that was a really good idea, but it was going to mean a lot of extra work for the entire team. Because we had to change, basically what you see now is where it ended up, but we had to change a lot of the terrain, we had to change the verticality of the map. But I think when you actually play it, you'll understand what it adds to the map. I think it's important to know. I think a lot of people, when they hear, oh, the Banshee's in the map, that means that hey, somebody gets in there and they just dominate everybody. We actually spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to prevent that. It's a little difficult to tell when you're looking at the top down, but because of the height variation in the terrain, and you can kind of tell there's some rock spires that pop up. When you're flying in the Banshee, there are a lot of obstacles that you have to fly around. So part of your attention is on not crashing into things. Part of your attention is on people who are shooting you at the ground. And it's very easy for someone to sneak up and skyjack. Whether you have a jetpack or you just climb up on top of something. I've seen it happen a number of times in playtests. It's just a really cool dynamic. And personally, I'm really glad that we put this into the map. So yeah, you can see from the top down that it's asymmetric. There's a cave. I can't quite see the orientation. I think it's on the north end of what you guys are looking at, where we have the rocket launcher. So there's always a mad dash to that spot at the beginning of a match.
Wait, before you go, has anybody played Hungry Hungry Hippos? Yeah. That bottom base on this map is totally a Hungry Hungry Hippo. That's like the only thing I can think about, like with its neck and everything.
That was our inspiration, actually.
Oh,
that's
yeah, dude, totally worked. Sorry, I'll be quiet.
So something else to point out, if you're looking at the 2 bases, one's round, one's square, but there's other asymmetries in both the base design and the map design that teams can take advantage of, and that's especially important in CTF. So I'm just being completely honest with you guys. This is probably one of my favorite maps that we've made to date. And when you play CTF on this map, it's incredible. So as a producer, it's my job to kind of keep people in line, make sure they're working on the right things. I'm basically the fun killer. In this particular case, when we do playtests, there's something very specific that we're looking for in feedback. And whenever we play this map on CTF, everyone forgets why they're in there. They just go into ultra competitive mode, start yelling at each other. So I have to come in and tell them, guys, we're here for a reason, and then they ignore me. But if you haven't played it on the show floor, you definitely check out Daybreak for CTF. It's just incredible. It's actually, as far as I know, this is the highest scoring CTF map since they've been keeping user scores. When we get people outside the studio to play the map, this has scored the highest. So it's a really, really great map. So this that you're looking at now is Outcast. This is also early concept art. This takes place on a planet that has been untouched by the Covenant. It's sort of on the very edge of UNSC space. And right now it's inhabited by insurrectionists that are there mining. And that is kind of reflected in kind of the map design itself, where wherever we can, we try to tell a visual story through the visuals, try to tell a story through the visuals. And in this case, because it's a hidden insurrectionist base, all the architecture that you see is kind of tucked into corners and hidden. It's kind of underneath rocks. And it's reflected in other places, just in the general map design. It's a very porous map. This is the largest of the three. What you're seeing here is kind of on the perimeter of the map, which is basically open to the sky. If you were to travel to the left of the screen there, you get into a cave system. So you're looking at a couple different shots here of placement. So in this map, we've got power vehicles. So we've got a really interesting combination of power vehicles. We've got the Mantis on one side of the map, and then the Wraith on the other. So you would imagine with two power vehicles like that, it'd be pretty easy for a team just to lock down an area and dominate the other. But I think that's where the map design itself comes in, and the layout. If you try to travel into the interior pore spaces, it's really easy for infantry to combat the power vehicles. There are a lot of caverns or tunnels, or there's a lot of cover that people can hide behind. So it's easy for people to pop out and shoot you with a plasma pistol. So it's not like you can grab the Wraith and go rogue and just kill everybody. You really need to work with your team. Yeah, if you look in the bottom picture there, if you're in the Wraith in the bottom left, it's pretty easy for people on the other team to flank you through that bottom route, unless you're working with somebody. Outcast is also the return of Dominion. This is a Dominion map. And it's a very interesting layout for Dominion. You've got two bases sort of on each extremity of the map, and in the interior there's a more natural map. A more natural base. So now you're looking at Perdition. This is also very early concept art. The inspiration for this was this map itself is set in the undercity of Pilvros, right before a reactor is set to go critical. In contrasting this with the other maps, it's very architectural. You're not going to find any rocks or rock walls in this map. It's 100% industrial. It's a fairly large map with some really interesting interiors, some cool shortcuts across the map. It's got some long sight lines. I'll give you another shot here. I mentioned visual storytelling earlier. This is another example. There's a tram system that passes through the map. We try to get motion into the map and make it feel as alive as we can. It's not quite as cool just in a single screenshot, but when you see it in action, it's really cool. Perdition supports all of the game modes, including Extraction, King of the Hill. King of the Hill is really awesome. I really like that one. I'll give you a nice top-down shot here. So that thing in the bottom, that bottom screenshot, that's the reactor. So it's a really cool landmark. It's something that you can see through a number of places on the map. It's a good rallying point, good place to call out. And that's something that we try to do as much as we can, is give individual call outs to people as they're playing through the map. It's helpful for players to be able to call out where they are. And it's pretty obvious that, hey, I'm by the reactor, there's a giant reactor in the corner.
I think my most common call out is one shot on my ex. I'm always dead. Am I bad?
And Jessica, you were saying this is the one that reminded you of Turf, right?
Yeah, I love city maps.
Yeah, it reminded me of Turf, and also reminded me of the Condemned map from Reach with that center hub that you went through. In this particular part right here. Without the low gravity, though.
Powerhouse. And along with these maps, we're also bringing back multi-team in a big way. And we've been playing this a lot, and it's been absolutely fantastic running 6x2 on here. Because the teams are getting into Warthogs and doing lots of laps, especially on Perdition. And then on Outcast, they've got these wonderful base structures where you can have teams of 2 locking each of these areas down, and it's really leverages the map in a great way.
Yeah, and multi-team on Perdition is especially cool. you kind of have the choice to like, hop and hog with a teammate and roam around the outside of the map. And there are a lot of different channels. It's not like the vehicles have to take this one route. As you saw with just the reactor that was on the screen, you can head behind the reactor, which is where the rockets spawn, or you can go ahead right through the dish or right around it. And it's cool to see multi-team take off on these maps. I think it plays really well.
Yeah. So we should probably say it super clearly. I know we've said that we've been building multi-team, but we haven't said when it comes out. So just in case you haven't put 2 and 2 together, multi-team comes out with the Castle Map Pack on April 8th. That's right, Kevin? Okay. So, are we going to have multi-team on the floor at all?
Yeah. For a little while today, actually, yeah. And we had it at the party last night, so I hope we can get some more going.
Andy and I played on the same team on multi-team.
Jess usually doesn't like to play with me. Jess really hates to play with me, against me, I don't know.
Yeah, so I really just don't like you. Okay. However...
I'm just glad you two didn't sit next to each other.
You're in the middle, Bernie.
But I think I got more kills than Andy. Andrew used to...
It's not true.
Oh my god, I totally got more kills than him. Andy used to be an MLG pro before he came to us at 343, so anytime I get more kills than him, I say I'm going to quit my job and I'm going pro, because I'm kind of that good. So.
We did really well together, Jess. We beat everyone. Good job.
We did. On to the next thing. One of the things that we announced shortly before launch was CSR. We are so close to its release. So, Kevin, for the people that do not know what CSR is, can you give us a basic rundown?
Absolutely. This is a system that we've been evolving sort of ever since we started redoing the matchmaking system for Halo 4. So from the ground up with matchmaking, we really worked on speed, we worked on late joining integration of matchmaking, worked on new voting system, but we were all at the same time working on optimizing our competitive skill rank, which is how you get matched with other players your same skill level. And we knew we wanted this eventually, and we couldn't get it in for launch because we had to do a lot of testing on all of the live data, and we've been carefully analyzing that over the last few months, I should say, and getting this ready to go so that we could launch with a big bang. And we are very happy to bring CSR out in early April. So each playlist you play in, you're going to get a skill rank, which is a traditional 1 to 50, like your similar like Halo 2 or Halo 3. But they're optimized. There's a lot more fixes around getting stuck. There's a lot more changes. We're going to do hopper resets. I mean, there's so much to talk about here, and we're going to cover lots of it in the bulletin. But for now, let's just let these pictures speak for themselves. So here you can see your skill rank showing in your Waypoint web experience and in your team results. And this is your post-game score. And Andy, what are you most excited about this feature?
The thing I think it's really cool here, we'll finish on this one, is that in the post-game stats, this shows, similar to what Halo 2 stats reporting did, this shows the player's CSR at the time of game. So once CSR deploys, you'll be able to go back into the game stats and see exactly what level you were, exactly what level other players were at the time of that match in that playlist.
And you can just see the production quality if you go back one, and you see that CSR 50 has that flaming 50, and then you're also
if you go back to that first one, Jess.
43. Yeah, there you go. So each one, even Griffball, also gets a CSR, so we can check on it.
That's 50 in Griffball on 40 different accounts.
So like Kevin was saying, we have that 50 that's beautifully decorated there that clearly stands out as level 50, and the other ranges will have, as you see, this bronze, this blue look. And if you haven't played a playlist right there, what's that bottom left? Is that snipers?
Team snipers.
Yeah. If you haven't played a playlist right there, as you see, you will not have a rank yet. But immediately when you do start playing, your CSR will begin to be calculated.
And then as we're introducing new playlists, you'll be able to go and chase new CSR scores. So if we introduce an all-new playlist, which we may talk about later, then you're going to get a new CSR score for that one. And if we ever reset a hopper or change the crown, or you'll actually get a reset CSR, so you can go after that 50 again.
And like Kevin had started to say when he was introducing CSR, one thing we definitely want to do is look at the best way to regularly reset CSR in some capacity that gives players a reason to chase it, whether it just be on a per playlist or we create special promotions around that. Having the ability to do it definitely creates a cool challenge and really kind of brings everyone maybe into one playlist or back into an experience in playing rather than, like Kevin said, getting locked at some point.
Totally. And this screenshot here is from our Waypoint console experience. So while you'll be able to access everything on Waypoint Web, we've also updated the Waypoint console experience on Xbox, which is a huge overhaul. So if you haven't used that in a while, definitely download the update and go check it out. It's a great improvement, and there's tons and tons of stats in there for your Halo.
I don't think that's out yet, but it will be soon.
Soon.
Yeah, so this last compare screen is pretty cool too. This screen just shows you a comparison of, I believe, the one game, or I can't even read that from here. Let's see right there. We have medals, and so that'd be a lifetime comparison of 2 players. And you see the CSR in the bottom right corner. But we can also have this screen show a comparison side by side of every single playlist, a really quick look at how you stack up against another player, rather than going into their individual profile and loading up 2 windows. On a Halo Waypoint Web experience, the console is going to offer this side by side compare for both overall lifetime stats and playlists.
Yeah, and it's been awesome putting this together over the last months. I mean, we've had like internal tracking tools where we were playing live to track our CSRs and make sure that we're getting the right swings and that we're not seeing anything crazy. We've done lots of data analysis on like large volumes of random players to sort of understand, how is the CSR going up? Because we really want the integrity of the system to remain, and we want that to accurately represent your skill ranking.
I inserted one line of code that says BS Angel equals 50, but besides that, it's going to be very legitimate.
I like the idea of a historical ranking so you can see what you were at the time of that match, because you'll be able to see exactly when somebody dropped based on some game. That'll be the ultimate bragging rights, that you drop somebody down. Yeah. I think I'll use that on Joel, my friend Joel, all the time.
The next thing we'd like to talk about is something that we announced just a few weeks ago, which is our 3rd title update that is actually expected to launch within the next 1 to 2 weeks. We released the details last Wednesday. We gave you the bare bones in the bulletin because we wanted to take a little bit of a deep dive here. So Kevin and Bravo are going to talk to you about some of the specifics, and they also have a demo planned for you.
The X's are back.
X's are back.
Obviously, they're a huge part of multiplayer, and they're on the floor. So if you haven't headed over to the Xbox booth, do so and check them out.
And updated camo.
Yeah. So the big update to active camo is when you fired all weapons before this title update. You did not return to 100% visibility. So this update ensures and balances out camo a little bit more in that when you do fire, there is a longer duration that you are visible. So it speeds up, the fade time. You won't just fade out immediately. You'll actually go straight to 100% visibility. So we think that it will balance out all those kids who camp in corners in Big Team Infinity Slayer with camo.
Don't judge. It's a legitimate strategy, dude.
No more cheese. But these are ones that we actively listen to on the forums and Twitter. We're just really listening to what your top concerns were, and we heard you loud and clear on these ones, and we were very happy to get these fixes in. And then the Gauss Warthog as well. It's been retuned, not completely nerfed. Definitely is still powerful. I know Exile is one of my absolute favorite experiences, just doing laps on there. I'm sure everyone in this room has done that a few times. But it will be retuned, and Andy, a little bit more of the details of that.
Sure, yeah. Specifically the damage, the auto aim, and the magnetism were reduced significantly to the point that Kevin said it's still obviously a very viable strategy and a deadly force, but no longer will it just go around shredding everything in sight, which will balance out the multiplayer experiences on vehicle maps.
So get your Killionaires while you can.
Let's go to this last one. I think people probably want to know a little bit more about this.
Yeah, so let's jump into this game that we have set up here.
Other side. Other side.
All right. So Andy's created a kill box here.
Yeah, this is a little cage match I have for Kevin and I to play against one another. So naturally, the incineration cannon is on my side.
Yeah. This is really the only way he can kill me normally.
And Kevin can grab the plasma pistol. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cool.
Totally
So
fair fight.
this incineration cannon right here, we're going to do maybe a 3-2-1. It's been tuned slightly differently.
Are you sure you didn't miss Andy?
All right, so, and then Kevin, I think you've also done a little bit to this plasma pistol, is that correct?
Yeah, we've changed it a little bit.
That would have helped to have that plasma pistol at the end of my legendary run. I would have liked that a lot.
Alrighty, so I think you've also done a little bit to the saw. Now, saw, undoubtedly a UNSC weapon that is pretty deadly.
Standby. Yeah.
Bernie, you said that you call it in pretty much every time.
Every time I get an ordnance drop, I drop a saw.
You got to go with the saw, right? And I mean, this new one, is pretty awesome.
So I stand here.
Maybe I've got it.
Yeah, 4 more clips.
Yeah. But we also have this new, Kevin, tell us about the storm rifle.
So if you notice on the plasma pistol that you saw was we tuned the damage up on that single burst to just be incredibly one powerful shot that was instant kill. But we can also tune the rate of fire, as you can see. Now, if you guys know the storm rifle, it only takes a few seconds.
Yeah, let's
to
show that
unload
from
it.
this distance right here.
It's a little bit instant.
Yeah, so that changes just shoving every single storm rifle round out in 1 second and it explodes in your palm of your hand.
I think we tried to make it fire faster, but the game crashed. I'm not sure.
Okay, and last but not least, this brand new Scorpion, fresh out of the factory. Kevin, if you want to grab a plasma pistol, if there's not one there, did you lose it?
Where'd it go? I like I lost our plasma
gosh.
pistol.
We gotta find a new one.
Why don't you shoot me with the Scorpion while I look for it?
There's gotta be one around you. You're not looking hard enough.
I'm looking. Oh, it'll respawn.
Be patient. Well, I'll just show you this new tank first. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's been nerfed slightly. Just a tad. For balance reasons. In matchmaking.
I think anybody attacking your tank is a juggernaut at this point. Now these are extreme examples to show what you guys can do, right? I mean,
That's right. Well, should we just apply it to matchmaking?
Yeah, we would have
Just put it in like this.
We'll just put it in like this.
turn the tank into a pickup truck, essentially.
So the biggest change that you guys are seeing here is that we've redone with this title update the way our weapon tuning works. So now instead of having to release a big title update and go through Xbox Live patching and have to download a big download to update our weapon settings, we can now do it on like a matchmaking basis. So we can change it in the scripting level, which is really fantastic for us because it lets us not only build new game modes that alter weapons completely. So for all of you Action Sack fans and anybody who wants to look at any different types of weapons tuning, we could get those into game modes. And then it also sets us up to do a across-the-board weapons tune, which I know we've been waiting for. And instead of just having to sneak like 1 or 2 updates into a playlist update, we're going to have very nice across-the-board weapons tune. As bravo. And we also have a new designer at 343, Quinn Del Hoya, who is absolutely obsessed with weapons and weapon tuning and is going to be working very hard on getting a new pass of weapon tune and also new game modes in for this.
Okay, I just want to clarify that you have the plasma pistol as your secondary the whole time.
I was going to ask you.
I knew. There's the reason. All right,
I was so distracted by your tank.
I knew you had it.
Can you
man.
jump in the tank now?
Sure. I kill you when it falls out of your back pocket.
That's how you found it.
All right, so here we go. So that plasma pistol will be coming to matchmaking very soon.
Yeah. Can I say pickup truck? I think it's a minivan. It's more appropriate.
Okay, if we could switch back over to the slides now. But yeah, as Kevin said, that's a feature that would have, the ability to make those changes on the fly would have been very challenging in terms of test and getting those out there. But now, for both individual game modes like Action Sack game modes and overall weapon balance, the ability to do this, it really mean a lot for all of Halo 4 in the coming months.
Yeah, it's been huge, and as designers, it's like an all-new box of toys we can unleash on multiplayer, so it's going to mean even more and more updates coming. I think there's one we can talk about, Legendary Slayer. This is a new mode we're working on that will retune the weapons, and we look at it sort of in between Throwdown and Infinity Slayer as a tournament-level competitive mode that we're really excited to get forward in the early summer or late spring.
Okay, so we kind of have a little something for you. The people that were working on it were not able to be here today, so they spent a lot of time making a very serious, well thought out, lots of practice went into this video. They made this for you.
How's my neck look? Is my neck big? It looks necky. All right. Hey, PAX East. Sorry. Hey, PAX East. I'm Victor Leon, lead mission artist.
And I'm Kynan Pearson, the lead multiplayer level designer.
Sorry we couldn't be there with you guys. Yeah. Sorry we couldn't be there with all the Halo fans.
But we've been working on something cool in our spare time.
Halo fans are super creative.
We know that the Halo community is incredibly creative.
I've seen some amazing things. It's true! You're leading me down a funny path.
Okay,
No. You don't have to lead it. Stop! I'm trying to catch my breath. All right.
Professional blottations. Jesus. And we wanted to kind of provide you something that lets you express that creativity a little further.
And with that, we're excited to show you, for the very first time, this new thing.
Back to our demo, please. So we can show them this new thing. We're in.
Yeah, so here we are in the very same room that you just saw us playing inside. And any of you who have played with Forge, extensively, will notice that these right here are some new Forge pieces, and we are on a new map. So Kevin right now is on Forge Island. This is the biggest of the 3 islands, and he just happens to be flying over a Hang 'em High remake, which will give you a little bit of a remake that was made just within the test team, just to really just show the scale of what we're talking about in terms of a space that you'll have that is a truly 100% flat space. And not only one, but 3 separate islands that vary in size that you can then actually, if you dare, and you're very good with your budget, you can connect them to one another. But the community pretty much asked for a flat space, and this is a series of flat spaces. With this map size, do we want to actually fly through the whole thing? Because it takes a little while to get across. And we'll actually hop into, show you, actually jump out of this Banshee on this big island to show you within this Hang 'em High remake, which of course is only such a small portion of this map, exactly the scale that we're talking that you will have now a chance to build whatever your heart desires on without any terrain that might get in the way.
And we're also excited about this because it does come with a new Forge palette as well for this map. So you can use a combination of pieces from other Forge maps and also some all new pieces just for Forge Island. So here we are.
And Bernie, I think
I'm just gonna make a personal appeal to all the Forge map makers of the world out there. If you guys could make a remake of Blood Gulch, I would be forever in your debt. No, I mean serious. I'd like to keep my job if possible, so Blood Gulch would be awesome.
And that's Forge Island.
Yeah, wow.
So Forge Island is coming to an Xbox near you on April 11th. How much is this gonna cost?
Like per island?
Yeah, let's do a per island breakdown.
0.
0. So it's 0 island.
it's great. That's a great deal. That's 3 islands for $0. Was that approximately $0 per island?
So yeah, so this will be coming to you April 11th, no charge. This one is on us as a thank you for your support. You guys wanted a wide open Forge map. What are you guys doing? You guys wanted a wide open Forge map, and so we made Forge Island just for you. We have 10 minutes left for Q&A. If I can get the boys to stop goofing off, I don't know if I can. We would love to take some questions.
I've embarrassed myself. Oh. No, I'm good. I'm good. All right. I embarrassed myself. I'm good. We embarrassed ourselves. Here. I'm good.
Hi, I have a question about, actually 2 questions. One's about Capture the Flag. will we ever be able to have an option to hold X to pick up the flag? Because it's such a huge commitment to never drop that flag. So will we ever be able to press a button to pick up the flag rather than being an instant pickup? And then question number 2, will we ever see an option to add de-scoping back to the game so that when you're zoomed in with a weapon and you get shot, will you be able to be scoped out, taken out of your scope? Those are my 2 questions for you.
Absolutely. So for the first one, the CTF changes, we recently built an Infinity CTF as a sort of a hopper update and a refresh to the mode. And we are going to continuously be doing this where it makes sense on the development side. So we sort of on a weekly basis look, what can we do with the time we have and what is the most value to getting new modes, to getting modes the community is requesting. And we do this on a weekly basis, and if we have this on the list of something to do eventually. So we can't rule it out completely, and it may come up in the future when we do another CTF refresh, but it's not in our current plans. And then for the de-scoping, I think we looked at this a couple times, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen for this release.
Okay, I actually have one quick question for Mr. Tom Potter. Sure. I saw an IGN video about Perdition, and they mentioned that it was actually originally meant to be in the anniversary map pack, so I was wondering if it was ever a remake of any previous Halo, since that's the anniversary map pack's all remakes.
Yeah, just to clear that up, I think he meant to say Defiant.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, I had a question. I know we've talked about competitive multiplayer a lot, but I know some of my favorite memories and most trying moments were doing like the Endure achievement on Firefight. I was wondering in terms of cooperative multiplayer if Firefight might be coming back in future titles.
We are actually not discussing future projects right now. I enjoyed Firefight as well, though.
I was just wondering, I really might not be able to talk about it. I just want to know.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Dave Zeller. I've been a Halo fan since I was a prepubescent kid, yelling at people in Halo 1, like my friends.
Were you the one that asked for chocolate milk that one time? Was that you?
So I have a question and kind of a suggestion. So one thing that really upset me in Halo 4 was that Halo had this tradition of remaking Blood Gulch. And this edition, you guys just brought back Valhalla. And I was wondering, what was the reason for that? Why not continue tradition, you know, have your own legacy, have your own remake? Yeah, so what was your thought? Why did you do that to me? It hurt. Because it's all about me.
Well, not everyone had a Blood Gulch. I mean, I can tell you from experience, Halo 3 did not have a Blood Gulch.
It had, well, spiritual remake was Valhalla, and you guys brought it into, you just took Valhalla and, you know, made it a little prettier.
Exactly. Koei was 2, right? Yeah.
And then Reach had a Forge map that was Blood Gulch, but at least it was in the playlist. You guys don't have anything in the playlist, and you really hurt me. No, I don't know, it had to be brought up in the discussion. What was the reason?
So during development, when we looked at both Blood Gulch and Valhalla, we really only had the resources to make one of them as a remake. And I think the reason we chose Ragnarok was not only because we had Vic on the project who had done the original Valhalla and was just an expert artist at it, and we knew he could knock it out of the park artistically, but also because the Mantis was a really big addition to that map, and we really wanted to make sure we focused on just that experience and getting the Mantis to work on that map, and also rebalancing the weapons on such a favorite as Valhalla. But now that we have Forge Island, I guarantee we are going to see some Blood Gulch remakes. Yeah. These islands are huge, and there's plenty of space to make them. Bernie already asked for one.
Yeah.
Are you going to make one?
Yeah, what is your gamer tag? You should
Can you send us a map variant?
So you want somebody else to make it for you.
Okay, Rapid Jesus. I expect to see this remake in our community photographers thread.
You're going to put in your playlist, right?
If you submit it to the community photographers thread, we will look at it.
I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Just one more suggestion. I'm sorry, just real quick. So Halo 2 was a big deal for me as a kid. I loved it, blah, blah, blah. Super bouncing, glitching, huge thing for Halo. I really would like to see an Easter egg or something in the next Halo that I can crouch in a little corner for 5 seconds, do a backflip, and then jump off and launch into the sky. I don't care how you have to do it. I would just really appreciate that little like memento to old school Halo 2, because Halo 2 revolutionized multiplayer.
Agree.
I feel like it should get some recognition.
We will look into that.
Thank you very much.
Hi, big fan like him. I've been playing since I was a little girl. I was wondering, what's your personal favorite loadout?
Andy, do you want to take that one?
Right now, I'm a fan of. Whoa. Is this universal? I only have to use one loadout for the rest of my life. Loadout?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. No, it's yeah,
Whatever you say is the only thing you're allowed to use in all internal playtest from this moment forward.
Forever. You're
Never
gonna
share.
marry
He usually just hacks rockets into his loadout and runs around with that.
Let's see. If we're answering here, honestly, I'd say DMR. Lately, it's been Plasma Pistol because we've been playing these castle maps. But I'll say DMR, Magnum, Thruster Pack, Frag Grenades, and something like Dexterity Resupply is a classic.
For me, it's battle rifle, magnum, grenades, frag grenades, dexterity, mobility, and jetpack.
I want the plasma pistol you just showed here. That's it. I'm a griffball player, so for me it's a hammer and a sword.
What is yours?
I like the DMR, the plasma pistol, the plasma grenade, dexterity, and Promethean vision.
Very nice. People like you ruin my camping.
That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
Oh boy.
Hello, Molten Slower. How are you?
Hello, BS Angel. How are you?
I
And
am
the rest of the
excellent.
panel. So, I know David Ellis couldn't be here, but I just wanted to extend a very, very big thank you to him and the rest of the team for Spartan Ops Season 1. And my actual question for Bravo and Mr. Kevin Franklin, since you guys have been talking so much about the plasma pistol, Phantom Pistols on Castle Map Pack,
Phantom pistol?
Halo 2 Invisibility, Waterworks, One-Shot Tail.
Yeah, we could.
Could be looked at.
It could be. Yeah. It hasn't been. I'm not gonna lie. It hasn't been considered.
Yeah.
It's the first I've heard it suggested for Castle, but hey.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Definite maybe. Got it. Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, like I've been a member of, like Halo's been one of my favorite games since I was little, and it's one of the biggest reasons why I'm going to the video game industry to learn to be a game developer. And the actual question I have, I'm a part of many forging communities, Forge Hub, anyone knows that one, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, is precision editing on the table in the future? I know people would love to be able to zoom in and edit their stuff easier.
I don't believe that I have any additional plans for Forge improvements on the plate, unfortunately, but we will keep an open mind for future projects for sure. And we really do appreciate the Forge community and all the amazing maps you're building. And we just even 2 days ago, we were checking on the threads of listing off Forge improvements and considering them for future titles. So we are really listening to that stuff, and we hope we can look at it for the future.
Another quick question, what about custom game types like race, or I know a lot of these community-made things that made into future Halos really became big, and I know the next big thing can become the next future game type that's used in later Halos. I'm just curious if things like race or past ones will see their time again.
Oh, there's no question that we look at that stuff. I can't talk about race specifically, but I can say that we have been looking at many community game modes and are definitely looking at some of them to integrate in the future.
Duck Hunt.
Thank you for your answers.
Yeah, no problem. And keep sending us your favorites too.
Duck
It
Hunt's out
definitely does
there.
help us choose.
I love every time a custom game type is mentioned, somebody else shouts out another custom game
Yeah.
type for somewhere else.
I think I've got a list of about 40 we need to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna please add Death Race 3000 on Sandtrap into your list. The
Hulk.
We only have time for one more question. I'm so sorry. If they let us go over, we'll try to take two.
That means you two
Go
have to
ahead.
fight.
All right, I guess I'm really lucky. Hi, I want to thank you for all your hard work on Halo series. My first question is, for the 50 ranks, you said you could start over, so I don't have to make another account to get another 50. what is that reward? So like, why would I want to start over at 1 and do it all over again? Is it like a Call of Duty Prestige thing where you get a little emblem and a new custom class, or I mean, is it just for shits and giggles?
The point behind resets, I think, is twofold. So one is that in ways that a lot of other games have done, leaderboard resets, right? Whether it be at a certain period of time after launch, whether it reflects a big game update, right, like a big sandbox rebalance, or if it was just maybe a certain amount of time after launch that you can have that rank reset. And we certainly aren't saying that it would be anything that would be considered extremely regular. There'd be a period where you were able to play, and then when the team figured out a good cadence, the ranks would be reset. So that's one reason, right? We're so far after launch, and then we're in the next year, and we want to do another reset. And the other would be to mitigate the to rank locking, right? We're still using a similar system. We have been working really hard with some experts who know the back end of matchmaking to make it so that you lock as slow as possible to be rank locked. But one of the best ways to fight against that would be a regular reset that would happen at appropriate times.
Okay, it's like a safeguard. One more question is about the DMR. In Reach, there's a lot more timing. It was like you gotta skillful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's just like I can smack my finger and it's going to be on point every time. Is that ever come to your attention to fix that or make it more like skill involved? Or?
This is the first time we have heard any feedback on the DMR. Have you guys heard anything about that?
It's too DMR?
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything.
We can definitely say we're looking at it as part of the overall weapons and sandbox rebalance that we're using with the new system we shut off today.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Yes. And my clock says we have 7 seconds left, so we are going to have to end it here. Thank you so much for coming out today. We appreciate it. Thank you for playing our game.
Thank you so much.